but with her, when we got her on more sodium and the exercise and started all that, and because I was trying to keep the sodium away from her at first
Right.
before we knew what the problem was.
Yes.
And her blood pressure was so high. When she had more sodium and was doing the exercise and the blood volume was coming up, her blood pressure went down.
Ah,
So it actually, even with the
It
sodium,
helps, it
it made
helps.
it,
okay.
it made it go down. It seemed, because they said sometimes the low blood volume with the adrenal thing, your
Sure,
heart and your
the
blood
high
pressure's pumping, trying to pump this blood that's not there working overtime, and it makes it actually go up. So he said
Okay.
there was different reasons for the pot, so
Okay.
that was good to hear to kind of.
That's right.
You keep away from Nick Jonas too.
Yeah, that-
That's why her blood pressure's high.
But this is something I've been seeing only lately for the last couple of months, actually. Someone with high blood pressure history plus POTS. And that always made me wonder, okay, where am I going with this one? So I always suggested using caution with it. And if you're gaining weight too fast, that means that you're collecting fluids at too fast of a rate. And mostly, when it comes to be the elderly, that's when I'm even more cautious. But I guess that's a very good explanation.
So
Thank you.
2 pounds a day is the morning where, so you may lose
Right.
that overnight, right? And you start
You
over.
could, right. I mean, with the high blood pressure and POTS, I say 2 pounds is kind of like.
Yeah, and I think we have, and it's probably coming out, but we have some patients who are sodium intolerant,
Mm-hmm.
or it's affected their liver and their kidneys, right? Somebody, maybe, you're sodium intolerant. So
Okay,
The high sodium is not necessarily a good thing.
right. In your case, no.
But in those cases, that's when we have medications that can step in. There's
Like Florinef.
Florinef, there's DDAVP, there's medications like that that can step in and take the place of the sodium. But why not do it in the diet first? And that's why that she's so vital in our treatment.
Now,
of
when you
medicine.
say sodium intolerant, how did you?
My blood pressure, I got to 3,000 a day, milligrams, and then my blood pressure just went sky high after a month.
Okay.
And it came back down.
Could that be like a side effect from the adrenal, or
It just, when I did the sodium, and I doing the sodium.
it came down? Okay. Okay.
But I feel better when I do have sodium. I'm trying to find that balance.
Right.
Because I was in no sodium, and my husband no sodium.
Uh-huh.
Before I had POTS.
Okay. And again, it's not just the sodium. Sodium itself is not going to do the job. It needs the liquids. And especially, if you're taking a lot of sodium and not drinking enough, it upsets your stomach, it makes you feel very, very sick. And I'm sure most of you experienced that with the salt tablets when you tried them. So it's really, really important to take a lot of liquids with the sodium. So if the goal is 10,000 milligrams per day of sodium, the liquids has to be about 14 glasses a day. And they have to be non-caffeinated or decaffeinated. And when I'm saying glass, it has to be 8-ounce glass. So if you're taking caffeinated liquids, they are subtracted, and then 14. So, yes.
When you were reading those, you said 130, that equaled 132 ounces of fluid a day.
Right.
Is that right?
Well, okay, let
Did I
me
understand you
calculate
right?
again. Maybe I must have done it in my head at that time. So
Okay.
I usually say 14, so that's about, 80 plus 32, that would be about 100 and, close to 120 actually, yeah, it's more like, yeah, so.
Okay.
Sorry, I was starving that day, so my brain was kind of not good in my math.
120 ounces of fluid?
8-ounce glasses, 14 of them. And again, it depends on the person, I never said it like 14 glasses, 8 ounce, it depends. For some people need less, will get them to the goal of their, blood volume and feeling the symptom relief, and some not.
Will it hurt you any if you get more than 120?
I don't think so.
Okay.
You, as long as you have some good healthy kidneys, you'll be excreting whatever you don't need.
Okay.
So you won't be absorbing even if you take a lot more than 14. That's right.
2 hours.
Right. So it's both the sodium and the fluids. That's the key to the diet, a good diet, and that's the most important thing when you're trying to follow the diet. So the handout that was passed out, I'm always looking for recipes because that was one of the popular questions when I'm seeing, people, but I can't find them. It's not out there yet, it's not very popular. I do have a few connections with some good chefs, so I'm kind of asking them, we want to come up with a book for high sodium diet. I bet I can find people who wants to buy it, so. But it's very challenging. But the handout I gave you, finally, last night, I did find one, a website, where you get to, and I gave the directions on the website once you're on there, how to get to your high sodium recipes. So hopefully that helps for you to get some. But the one recipe I have on the top is just to give you an example of how you make it. But the second handout is where I gave you some comparison. Like, you don't need any special recipes out there. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're making at home, your own home recipes, you can turn them into a high sodium recipe. So one example I gave is the menu that I have in the second page. Just using the processed foods whenever you can. Let me get one handout so that I can kind of see and go over that with you. Like you saw, for breakfast, this is a very healthy breakfast. 2 whole wheat pancakes topped with some blueberries and have some orange juice and milk. That's a very healthy menu. You don't have to lose that healthy aspect of the diet. You can still have the pancakes, but they're going to be frozen so that there's more sodium in it compared to what you can make at home. And I would top it with some salted nuts, so that, because the blueberries, even though the fruit is good for you, but it doesn't have enough sodium for you. Nuts are also very healthy. You should have it part of your diet. But when you add the salted nuts, you're adding another 200 milligrams of sodium. And then instead of the orange juice, you're going for V8 juice or tomato juice. That will give you the sodium and the vitamin C and lycopene and all the good stuff that you get out of the juice. And then of course you keep the milk because you need the calcium. So that's just that breakfast itself made, the goal is, because the 10,000 milligrams is such a big number, you just split it. Have 4 meals a day, like 3 meals and maybe 1 snack, and you're going to have 2,500 milligrams of sodium with each meal. The minimum you should have is 2,000, and that's what I tried to hit here. So between the pancakes and the nuts and V8 juice, you're getting about 2,000 milligrams of sodium. You could add a few pickles if you like them in the morning and get another 500 there. I had a client today who ate a chicken sandwich for breakfast, first thing in the morning. I said, well, whatever feels good to you. So, and lunch, you could still have the pita bread. Bread, by the way, is one of the moderately high sodium foods. That here you have some veggies with the feta cheese and some low-fat ranch dressing. Did you have a question?
Not yet.
Okay.
I do.
So, when we turn into the high sodium meal, lunch, you're adding canned beans. Or you could be adding canned vegetables. They have fresh veggies in the pita bread, but you're going to add canned. Or the other thing I would ask you is, some people don't like canned vegetables. I don't know if we have anybody here. All you have to do, okay, Nathan doesn't like them.
No, he doesn't.
So what you could do is, fresh veggies, you could just blanch them in some high sodium, like a broth, or some kind of, adding a bouillon cube for a little water. When it's boiling, you put the vegetables in and kind of quick cook it and bring it out. And those are going to be high in sodium. Sodium always goes from the higher to the lower concentration. The veggies being the lowest concentration, it goes into the vegetable, so you don't have to drink the juice. And then feta cheese is naturally high in sodium. And I added a couple of pickles up there with your pita bread. I thought that goes very well with that, bread sandwich. And fat-free yogurt, and of course the G2 Gatorade. So with that, again, we're making about 2,000 to 2,500 milligrams. So we didn't increase the volume so much, and we still kept that healthy concept there, being a low-fat diet, but we raised the sodium. So that should be the way of thinking when you're trying to get to